Hello, hello, hello. I am Vakisha Fripp,
And I am Patrice Johnson,
and together we are
the voice of her.
There's something on my mind. There's something on my mind.
We could never stop laughing after we say that. It's just so much fun.
It is.
So as you can see, we're wearing the beautiful pink, and there's never a day where pink is a problem, right?
Pink
is
is
always going to be
appropriate.
your first choice. But this month is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I am a plastic and reconstructive surgeon. And for over 15 years, I did reconstruction for the breast after breast cancer. And so it's been near and dear to my heart for a long time. In the last year, I've stopped doing that, but I'll always have an affinity for women who are going through the challenges of breast cancer. No one raises their hand and says, choose me when it comes to cancer, but 1 in 8 women will have breast cancer. And so we're here today as professionals and friends and women to say, know your body.
Know your body. And to remind you to go and get tested.
Yep.
Schedule your mammograms. Don't delay. Don't
Nope.
hesitate. It doesn't matter of your familial history. And
Yep.
if you have history, it's
Even
more
more reason.
urgent
Yep.
for you to schedule your mammograms on today. Get the tatas tested.
Get the tatas and test your own, men and women. You need to know what your breasts feel like. I always tell patients, I don't need you to be a surgeon, I don't need you to be a doctor, but I need you to tell me this lump was not here last month. And I won't know how long that was present if you don't know. So touch your own breast. Men, touch your breast too. Men get breast cancer as well, clearly at a lower percentage, but it's more devastating when men get it because there's so many stigma associated with that, and they are resistant to coming forward and saying that something is different. So let's
Absolutely.
reduce all those stigmas. Let's touch ourselves. Let's know our bodies, and then we can live this life for as long as we can, as healthy as we can.
And if Larry is touching your breast, Larry, you too can help detect. You know if they were like that last month.
Last
No,
night.
all jokes aside, though, but a lot of breast cancer or nodules or lumps have been found because a partner noticed
Oh, yeah.
something feels different.
Yeah.
So please do not hesitate and go today to book your appointment.
Yep, and stay on it every year. I tell people to do their self-breast examination on the date they were born. I was born on the 16th, so the 16th of every month, I check my breast
Yep.
because it's easy for me to remember. So that's a lot of self-care. We want to keep in that same theme.
Yeah.
So Patrice, what do you do for self-care or to unplug, as I call it?
I think for me, I like being at home. Surprisingly,
Okay.
I enjoy travel, right? But I can't always pick up and go, contrary to popular
People
belief.
believe you're always gone. They don't
I
think
have
you
a
have a
friend who'll
house.
be like, Patrice will say, "You want to go to Africa tomorrow?" That's
True.
not true.
That
I mean,
is
I've done
true.
that, but not like every month.
I've heard you say
I'm
that.
not saying I don't say that, but I can't do that every month because self-care could come like this week. This week was a week,
Yeah.
right? You know, that we're going to cut to that, that Marlo clip. This week drained.
This week drained me.
However, so in those moments when I can't go to Africa, although I am flying out tomorrow,
Right.
but I like to be home. I like to light a candle. I change my sheets. I take a bath instead of a shower. I love essential oils, and I will just put on music. I would connect my Bluetooth, and I have a spot in my couch. I look out the window, and for me,
I like it.
yeah, that's the simplest form and the easiest form of self-care.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I would love to go get a massage
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
all those things that have to be scheduled. But like for real, on a especially if it's how this past week we've had nothing but rain.
Yeah.
I've loved it.
Yeah.
Like I just sit. I'm probably playing either some jazz or some type of R&B with the words "rain" in them. How cliche
On
is
mood,
that?
on point.
But that is my form of self-care. Just a moment of solitude to reflect. I may read, I may not. I may grab a old show I haven't watched in a while. But typically, it's in my home in a certain spot with a certain aesthetic.
I like it.
Yeah,
I
real
do.
simple. What about you?
So I unplug every day.
That's
And
good.
so I don't know that that's a true, well, that is self-care. And so
That's
I,
self-care.
every day at 9:30, between 9:30 and 10, I turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. I do. And so I learned that from Keisha Streeter Clark. And she
Listen.
has 15,000 kids. So she has
Keep the street
15,000
apart.
kids.
Keep
She
the
has
street
her own
apart.
business. She has a
Yeah.
husband who works in and out of town. So if she can turn her phone on Do Not Disturb, then I can turn my phone on Do Not Disturb. So
love it.
I do have a list of favorites, like my mom, my kids, my brother, my sister-in-law, my niece. There's about 20 people who are on a favorites list whose call will come through if they need me.
Oh,
My
okay.
best friend Cynthia. So if they call me, their call will automatically come through. But everyone else is on a Do Not Disturb list because it's 9:30.
Yeah.
And so, and in the business that I'm in, my patients who I've operated on have my cell phone number. So they go on the list for a short period of time. Because if they have an emergency during that initial
window.
post-op window, they need to be able to call me. Now, after 90 days, they fall off that list because there are no emergencies at that point that
Correct.
emergency room can't handle, right? So that's my first thing. The second thing I do is, and I've been doing this now for probably 6 years, I don't have a voicemail.
I noticed
So
that.
people always say, my God, your phone is broken. I'm like, okay. I don't really go back and forth with people anymore because I just don't have the bandwidth to do that. I always say, oh, okay, I'll get it checked out. So my phone is not broken. It doesn't have voicemail.
Yeah.
So another grits, Marisa, travels extensively. I mean, she could be in Turkey tomorrow for her job. She's in Istanbul doing contracts.
Right.
She doesn't have voicemail. So if she's on a whole nother continent and her husband and children are here and she does not have voicemail, then I don't need to have voicemail either.
Yeah.
So you cannot leave me a 10-minute message. You just have to
I
text
don't
me
know
or keep
very
calling.
many people who are leaving that kind of message.
I think because
anymore.
people want to tell me stuff, they get these. I used to have these long messages on my voicemail. I don't want to hear any of that.
Yeah.
I don't even like talking on the phone. Period. I don't want to hear anybody else's voice.
Yeah.
So I don't
But
have
what
voicemail.
about outside of just your phone? What do you physically do for yourself?
So I'm a huge bed person. So I love my bed. I know. When I say I love my bed, I love my bed, and I am constantly ordering sheets. Like if you walked in
Ooh.
today, those 2 boxes by the door, the bottom one is
Oh,
from
let me look
Macy's
in that
Home
box.
Connection,
Oh.
Home Collection, because I buy sheets all the time.
Yeah.
So I
didn't
wash
know
them
that
first,
about you. I'm a
and then I
sheet
put them on
fanatic,
the bed hot from the dryer,
Mm-hmm.
and I spray a rose mist on the bed.
I didn't know that. We got to share a secret. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit of a bed fanatic too. I bought a bed vacuum, like for your, not a bed, a mattress vacuum.
Okay.
So I actually vacuum. I do like this whole thing, some TikTok cleaning thing. Because
Really?
cleaning became this TikTok cleaning thing became my thing during the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah, so I have a vacuum where I sprinkle like baking soda, some essential oils on the mattress. And also because of my allergies and bronchitis and all of
okay.
that as well. However, it became like so soothing to me. So I love the feel
What's your
of
scent? Lavender?
lavender or
okay.
a light rose.
I love rose.
I don't like anything loud. So
Okay.
yeah, a light rose. So like, but my bedtime perfume, what I spray on my body or what I, don't do that, friend.
Let me find out. Please
It's
elaborate.
rose. We'll talk
My
about
bedtime perfume.
because
Okay.
I like scents. I like to smell. Like I like my living room to smell away, but my bedroom smells different, right? So my sheets, because lavender is soothing. So when I lay down, that's what I want to inhale. But if I roll over, kiss myself on the shoulder because my shoulder be real nice and scrubbed, I like a little
bedtime
light time
perfume.
rose. So I like the little Joe Malone. It's really light. It fades away. It can't
Okay.
be anything like overpowering.
Right.
to my
You wouldn't be
nostrils.
wearing that Chanel, Mademoiselle. That thing.
Listen,
Ooh,
that Chanel
Lord.
was loud. But yeah, so I love I like that you look, because I had a friend who thought those were like, but when I'm in my bed, I love my bed.
I
but I
love
had
my
to get
bed.
out of that because I could be in my bed. Like these past
Oh,
rain
I could,
days,
absolutely.
I was absolutely in my bed. But
I do force
yeah.
myself to get out of the bed though to do
I have
certain
to
things. 'Cause
force
I can
myself.
work in my bed. I
Same.
mean, I can do everything.
Yeah,
But I
same.
do force myself to get out and either come down here or go into. I don't do a lot in my living room, even though that's a speaking place, like for my friends just to speak and talk.
Yeah.
I don't go out there enough.
I think we're the same with our living, because in my living room I don't have a TV. My TV is
right.
in the basement.
Right.
Because I feel like when I'm in my living room, like even so when I'm probably there more because I'm more of a music. I'll turn the
Okay.
radio or the music on before I turn the TV on.
Right. I have the little Google
Yeah.
thing for music only.
Music only.
Right.
So I'll do
Same.
that. But yeah, so I
Look
like
at us.
look at us all. Yeah, but let's be clear. I like a good massage. I like a good
Oh,
spa.
I love a massage.
And some people find this repulsive and because they're, but I love hotels. I like a staycation, not
I
hotels.
love hotels.
Yeah, I have a thing like I'll
Oh,
go on
I
a
love
weekend and
hotels.
just like they're doing work in my house now.
Yeah.
So I just need a reason like, oh, I'm going to the
Oh, I
Conrad.
love
Like
hotels.
I love that. So
Let me tell you, my job, they want me to go to different locations, and the location may be 45 minutes away. I'm like, I would have to be put up in a hotel. And they were like, well, of course. I was
were,
like,
of
okay, right.
course,
Because we know
yes.
that you can't drive more than 30 minutes away from your house. Exactly. Now, I
Exactly.
could. And I did it for 6 months, but I won't do it anymore.
Right, if
Because
you don't
I
have
want to be
to.
able to come back to a place and like relax.
Decompress,
Oh, I
absolutely.
love hotels too.
I love a good staycation.
Me too.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
was telling me we went to the Waldorf Astoria for cocktails, and I looked to see what their room rates were and whatever. I was like, oh, I could do this for a weekend.
And I haven't seen the rooms, but I've seen the lobby, so I would imagine the
rooms
staycation
must be
is
amazing. Ooh, okay.
immaculate. Yes.
We'll tell our beaux that's what we
so
wanna do.
we
So that's our
want to
self-care.
hear like how you guys gave us feedback on the last episode. Tell
Mm-hmm.
us what you do for self care. We use the word that you hear a lot about mental health, but I do believe, and I've been talking to friends, and we talked about this earlier. There's a such thing as just mental wellness,
Yeah.
right? To stay in a space, like
Yeah.
what do you do to maintain it? What do you do just
Yeah.
to make yourself? Maybe you're not having a bad day, but maybe you just want to bump it up a
Yeah,
notch. You don't have
absolutely.
to wait until you're. I think we're
Right,
we're in
right.
this. Sometimes we think we have to be feeling away, like you said, you were about to say melancholy
Yeah,
or down.
yeah.
No, do it on GP.
You know what I've heard somebody say? I think it was Viola Davis, and she was like, "We have that trauma mentality.
Ooh, yeah.
We have that. Life has to just be so hard that then when it's hard, we take a break from it.
Right.
But we don't need to get to the point where it's that hard. And the way you prevent it from being that hard is surrounding yourself by people who are positive, who want the best for you, who really can see good for you, right? And then doing things for yourself that take the edge off.
Right.
Not
I
to the point where
agree.
you're about to explode and you
You're
have to get
not.
away for a weekend. But do it so regularly that it becomes a part of how you treat yourself.
Yeah, there's this theme going around or this notion or narrative, and it's called quiet quitting. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I've heard it, but I don't know what it is. Quiet
right.
quitting.
So here's the thing, in my opinion,
Yeah.
there's a black definition, there's a white definition.
Uh-huh.
So the black, the let me start. The Caucasian definition is that like now when you work, we're no longer working weekends. We're leaving at 5:00. But to me, that's what you should be doing. The black version is I might give you 6 good hours. If the work if the work is done in 6 hours, why am I stretching these last two?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they were like, we're gonna give you the bare minimum. No, that's what you should be doing.
Right.
And I saw somebody break that down, and I will not do it any justice. But they were like, what is this? I think Trevor Noah or someone did a piece on it. They were like, what is this quiet quitting you guys? And that's how you say, well, you guys are talking about. Because what you're talking about, we should have been doing anyway.
the
And
time.
it all comes down to, which is also mental wellness, is boundaries.
Boundaries.
How do you set boundaries?
This is a good pivot. You know, I love
Yes.
to pivot during our conversations because I'll talk about 15 things
Yes.
in 5 minutes, right? Because I
So
hate
go.
talking. Okay. so
Yeah,
the
it's
pivot is
boundaries.
Boundaries professionally.
Yes.
You know that clearly you're a professional woman, and I'm sure what you do, people ask you for things. You're like, now come on
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
And so for me, I have professional boundaries when people ask me stuff. But then for our friends who do the things that we need, like for our friends who are realtors, for our
Right.
friends who are lenders, for our friends who are
Lawyers. Yeah.
when do we say, no, that crosses the boundary and I won't do that, or I won't allow them to ask me that either?
I think when you feel like whatever so here's the thing. Someone told me this, and I thought it was so powerful. They were like, sometimes we do a great job of setting boundaries, but we don't do a great job of enforcing them.
Yeah, oh,
right.
true.
So I think when you feel like they are crossing or they are approaching or encroaching upon those boundaries you've set, like for my friends, I may have a different boundary than what I've set. I may
Okay.
have a different boundary for you than I have maybe, for another friend.
Right.
Depends on where we fall in the spectrum.
Right.
Also depends on the ask. So I think that is something you have to decide what it is. But what I do think for sure, you should never feel bad about it or have to question it.
Okay.
And if you're my friend, and then that's what it is. Because
Right.
I should feel a little awkward or weird about asking you certain things. You're a plastic surgeon. Now, I don't feel bad asking you about certain things. 'Cause it's just,
You make me laugh. No, I don't have a problem with. No, there's so many levels to this,
Right,
right?
it's
I don't have a
levels.
problem with people asking me questions or whatever, asking for my professional opinion briefly, right? I'm not
Right.
gonna give you a full consultation. I don't have a problem with people even saying, "Can you look at this?" Because
Right.
I love looking at it and telling me what they've heard someone tell them, and I give them my just opinion, and this is all just my professional opinion. Where I start to think the line gets crossed when people ask me for services for no cost.
And see,
It's because
that's-
this house doesn't run at no cost. My
Yeah.
car, even though it doesn't use gas, it
Yeah.
doesn't run at no cost to me.
I don't agree
Nothing
with
that I
that.
do in my life is at no cost. And
Yeah.
then what hurts, my feelings is when they go and pay somebody else to do it and say, hey, I went to blank, blank, blank.
So I
she
was
did
good
my
enough when it
Botox."
was free.
I was like, huh.
Yeah.
You such and such did your Botox? I said, looks good. That's all. You should continue to go to her. Whatever her fee is was your
Yeah.
budget, right? So clearly
Right.
you didn't even want to know what my budget was.
Right.
Or again, when it was free, or for you to even ask me about it being free. It's
Yeah.
never gonna be free. And if it's free, I'm giving it to myself.
But I subscribe. I have a different, I don't ascribe, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that's your business, I'm going to patronize your business, right? Now, you can decide if you want to say you're my friend.
Give you a
I
just
might throw
absolute.
in,
Yeah.
let's say I came to you for the left breast and you might, well, this right is a little low. Lift both of them up. I appreciate that. However, we're going to pay. Because that's different, like, for me to come to you for that.
Right.
So I do think as a friend, like, I think, for me, I may have to reevaluate what kind of friend. Like, are you in it for the freebies
Yeah.
and what you can get?
Right.
Yeah, I believe in supporting my friends in a real way. And
Right.
that means whether I'm, whatever you're selling, whatever your business is, whatever
Right.
your event is, I'm buying a ticket to your event. Now, once I get in, I might be like, where your table at?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where your
upgrade.
section at?
For the
I
upgrade.
might be
Nothing
for the
wrong with
upgrade,
that.
but I'm at bare minimum, I'm, putting my money towards whatever it is you're doing. And I just think that's
Right.
fair.
So for me, it's the person who asks for stuff free and the person who's not grateful.
Ooh,
So the
yeah.
person who says
That's the easy
stuff,
way
I've
to
had a
not get
person
in.
who clearly I won't even, that person is now invisible to me. And it's gotten to the point where I don't even know this person exists. And I'm being serious when I say that because it's not the same person I met. So the person who shows up today is just invisible because I don't even know you. But said that they had put me on, had their friends come to me and put me on and gave me so much money in my pocket.
Oh.
You mean the ones I did for free? You mean
Mm.
your friends who couldn't come back for the service again because they didn't have the money? Is those friends who put me on?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that Botox and that filler paid any bill? Did you
Mm-hmm.
think what I gave you paid a bill? I gave it to you at bottom barrel price. So nothing that you've ever done for me has put me on. I've been on, love, since '96.
I've been on. What's
I've
Nicki
been on
Minaj?
since '96.
My mother said sometimes bought sense is the best sense. So let you go. So that's my thing. I tell my team, I found all kind of ways to use that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to let people see and or feel and or miss you. If you can get it better, I'm not mad at you. But like, don't play me because that's what it is.
Yeah.
And honestly, don't disrespect me. I was going to give it to you. You wanted it from me for free, but you went over here to pay Dr. So-and-so
Right.
for nah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you have to set that boundary. I don't think you should feel bad. And I think, I mean, if I know you, you've done a good job of that. So.
Right. No, I've done
I
a
ain't
good
even
job. It's
worried.
just
Yeah,
one
yeah.
of those things. But
Yeah.
but that's a part I think of self-care too, and drawing boundaries.
Listen.
And like you said, stop moving the line. Enforce what the boundaries are. That is a
Enforce
part of
what they are.
self-protection, self-care, and those are
Yeah.
the things that allow you to be who you are without
Yeah.
always going around feeling bad. Or when you go into a room, you can't really feel comfortable because that person might be there. I don't care who shows up.
Yeah. I always say, like for me, like I know the kind of person I am. I know the kind of friend that I am. So if you're the person who ever has to question that, you should probably do yourself a favor. If you feel like you got to question if I'm right, if I came at you wrong, then either we just got off on the wrong foot or
Right.
you don't know
Right.
And the one thing I'm gonna do, y'all, I cheer for my friends.
You do.
I got 4 pom
You
poms
do.
and a high
You
kick and a
do.
split.
You do. You are
Whether I
all
get up
out.
or not.
You and Sheila
Yeah.
Donaldson.
I'm
I tell
going,
you,
if
y'all
I can
will-
ride,
whew.
I'm a ride. Like,
Yes.
so I have low tolerance for people who don't hold friendships. And I know not everybody is the same, but my mother used to always say there's friends and there are acquaintances.
Yeah.
So once I call you a friend,
Yeah.
we $100,000.
Oh, I love
You know
it.
what I'm saying? We $100,000.
Okay,
So,
friends.
yeah.
So make sure y'all keep yourselves first. And that doesn't mean you don't include anybody else. It just means make sure you keep yourself first. My mom said you can't pour from an empty cup.
You can't.
You cannot. And you want to be pouring goodness and love and positivity so you get
Yeah.
those same things
So
back.
you can get it back. And
Yep.
we know we're approaching a holiday season.
Oh, yeah.
Where the asks become
Ooh.
more. And we're not saying don't give. Because truthfully, I believe I'm a giver.
Yeah.
So I'm made to give. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's what I'm called to do.
I'm made to
So,
receive.
Yeah. However, it does not mean that I don't have discernment for when I should give.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that to say there are many of you out there, and you have to assess that for yourself. We just wanted to share our experiences and the
Yeah.
conversations we've had. But either way, keep the conversation going.
Always. Bye.
Bye.